Yo guys, what's up? How are you doing? We are back once again, but this time we're not painting the chaplain. He is practically done. We're going to be painting some Marneus Calgar action, and I can't wait to be getting on with this guy. This is one of my favorite classic minis. He's just such an absolute beast. I'm having a slight issue with the focus on the camera. Just give me 1 second. We've changed a load of settings. Hopefully to get better quality stream. I think we've got it. Yes, happy days. So we've changed a few things. Everything is the same in terms of the setup, but I've just pissed around a little bit with our software to hopefully get a slightly higher quality output. I think we've managed it, but let me know over the course of this stream, the next few streams, whether you think it was better, worse, whatever else it might be. But I'm really looking forward to painting this guy. In the chat, we've got loads of people so far. Commissar Bob, Main Unit, Toonie Spruce, Snake Pliskin, Akuno, how you doing, buddy? The Real Headhog, Conradson, Jager, Craig, Des, Viking. I think I got everybody. How's it going? There's Nick McDade. Nick, I'll tell you what, man. Just for you. Just for you. We'll show off some porn. Some chaplain porn. And I don't mean, you know, that. Here we go. This is the very nearly finished article. The chaplain on bike. Too many sprues with the host. Drone Mystic. Conradson, how you doing? You also got Electros 2K. What's up, indeed? So here he is. Earlier on today, we filmed the video of how to do a base exactly like this. How to take that Games Workshop base and amp it up. Make it into something a little bit more special. Don't just paint one bit grey and dry brush some fucking sand and shit. None of that. All we've got left to do on this guy is this shoulder pad. That'll be filmed for a Patreon video. Exclamation point Patreon. That will go up not this Friday, but the Friday afterwards. This is Kets TV with a sub and Des for the host. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. So there you go. That's what we were working on the last few streams. Really, really pleased with how this guy's come out. Super, super happy. But tonight we're painting Ultramarines. Now I know there are some Ultramarine fanboys here in the chat. Des is there for a start. And for those Ultramarine fanboys out there, I'd just like to draw your attention to the following command. It is no secret that Chris Frosin and I are going to be having a battle, a duel of brushes and wits. Some wits. Half wit, at least one of us. On about the 14th of November. It's going to be live on Twitch. And there's going to be a lot of interesting rules in here. So basically, the way it's going to work is both Chris and I are going to paint the same miniature. Or at least, we're both going to paint an individual one of the same miniature. There we go. Now, we need you guys to decide on the chapter of Space Marine that we paint. Let me draw your attention to the following screen. This is the Frohawk Stream chapter. Currently, in first place... Oh, damn it, you can see my vote. Ventress! How you doing, champ? Des, I could. You'd have to fight Nick for it. Oh, wow. We're even on a hype train as well. Commissar Bob getting his sub on. No Raven Guard on there. So Soul Drinkers all away, he says. As you can see, I may have voted for Ultramarines because there's a little blue tick by it. I love Ultramarines. I think Ultramarines are sick. I love the way they look. They're just a really awesome looking parade ground Space Marine to do. So go over there, get your vote. We've got Mortifactors, Sons of Medusa, Blood Ravens, Sons of the Phoenix, Imperial Fists, Excoriators, and they are pretty fucking sexy. I wouldn't mind painting one, put it that way. That was nearly my vote, but like Ultramarines were in third, and I thought I could put them in joint second now. Raptors, Celestial Lions, Emperor Spears, Dank Angles, Warbills, Regal Skulls, Subjugators, or if you'd like to waste your vote, Red Scorpions, Flesh Terrors, Minotaurs, or the Red Templars. We've had 45 people vote, and it's pretty tight. What's going on? Pretty tight up here at the top. So, exclamation point, Frohawk, head on over there, go cast your vote, see what we could be painting. You see that boring? Yeah. Oh, holy shit. Too Many Sprues is throwing out some gift subs. Let me give these people some meeps. Dude, you absolute legend. Can we please have some hype in the stream for Too Many Sprues? The Drunk Mystic is getting some meeps. We've got Camel Triber. There's some meeps for you as well. All you guys that are getting subs, exclamation point win, exclamation point mystery in chat. Iron Oscar 74. There's some meeps for you. We got Steiner Miniatures. Absolute boss, quality streamer, all around good dude. And then finally, speaking of all around good dudes, even Chris Frozin got given a sub as well. Chris, you need to spend some meeps, son. You need to be here for giveaway day, get them meeps out, buy them tickets. Hicko got in on a sub as well. That's 11 months, and we're halfway through a level 3 hype train as well, people. We are all aboard that hype train. Let's see if on the hype train, they've got some airbrushing. Let's see if we can do some airbrushing on that train. So here is the boss of all Ultramarines, Marneus Calgar. The classic old school metal mini. This weighs a fucking ton. I swear this weighs almost as much as Magnus's base. Like that's what we're dealing with here. So let's get going. We're going to go with a very... Ooh, Crazy Ant getting his sub on as well. We are 3/4 of the way through that hype train now with 3 minutes left on the clock. That is a 7-month streak for Crazy Ant. He is a boss. He's been here rocking it hard with the Whip Gallery as well. So we're going to start off with a mix of black and Macragge blue for a very dark, desaturated Ultramarines blue. Then I'm going to work that up through Macragge blue with Calgar blue. Too Many Sprues getting a big cheer in as well. It's a Boxcron, he says. Boxcron just makes it into the whiskey jar. I'll drink to that. Cheers, brother. We're going to desaturate our blues, work up through Macragge into Calgar, and then maybe, if we feel we need it, we're just going to poke out a little bit with some sickly skin to amp up our final highlights. As always, going to be getting a load of Flow Improver in the pot. Build up a nice smooth coat of these paints. So it's been a good day for me today. We wrote our first Patreon how-to guide, which was how to paint the Blackwood on the Chaplain bike. That'll be released, is scheduled for release 10 a.m. UK time Friday morning. Hopefully that goes well. Tomorrow, we've got a load of voiceover to do, and a final bit of editing to do to get the Patreon, sorry, the YouTube video. The hell? That's not meant to happen. The YouTube video for how to bump up your basing game. This is Ketz getting his cheer on as well. Can't wait to see Calgar all painted up. Mate, I'll bet. Need to just clean my tip a little bit. Slightly gummed up. So we've had recording done, we've had some editing done. So it's got to be a... No, there isn't. Damn it, it's almost always a cocktail stick in there. Hey, now we've got a great big explosion of blue. The day was going so well. What has happened now? Custard contemptors are out of stock. Damn, man. So, what are we going to do instead then, Akuno? Just clean this unholy mess. Hadn't even started painting, already making a mess. I mean, you could check eBay. Or, to be fair, we're not painting these till January. There's every chance that by January they'll be back in stock. And Des getting a sub on as well. Mate, you absolute boss. He's getting... Wait. What happened here? Des gifted a sub to SJ Tonino. Main unit gifted a couple of subs. Cowden Raven and Ron TV. Guys, you are slaying it today. Except I can't spell this dude's name. SJT. Damn, that dyslexia. There you go. ST Tonino. There's your meeps. Cowden Raven is a name we've seen around here for a while. There you go, champ. There's your meeps as well. And then finally, Ron TV. There's some meeps for you. Guys, thank you very, very much for that. Very generous community, as always. A complete collection of bosses. What's the collective noun for a bunch of bosses? Mohawk Miniatures community. I think that's what it is. So you said a train. What's your favourite train? Mine's the Mallard. Isn't that a duck? I feel there's a joke that I'm not getting here. Right, let's get a good coat of blue all over this. Like I said, we've mixed in a little bit of black to our Crag blue. We're desaturating it. I'm going to have our blue build up nice and strong over this. And to do that, we need to have a good set of contrasts. To get the contrasts, we need those shadows. So a nice dark blue to have in the shadows to begin everything with is pretty essential. Look at these gauntlets. Absolute weapon this guy is. He's a weighty boy. Let's just get everywhere that we think might have blue on. This guy's got lots of ornamentation on the armor of... Is it armor of Heracles? Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Heracles? It's not Heracles. Kaiser Bob says the Bane train. There you go. I think that's my favourite train too. Dead heat between the Bane train and the Pain train. It's got to be. Alright. Gonna grab the hairdryer quickly, give this a quick flash over, and then come back and hit this with another coat of blue. To really cement this down. This is the most important part of the process, nearly. Because like I said, without this, we're not going to get any of those really intense highlights. We need that shadow. It's a train made entirely of Bane blades. I could live with that. That'll do. Crown Blade, how you doing? Craig, been assembling and disassembling my airbrush today, getting an idea on how it's done. That's exactly how I first started, mate. Break it down, put it together. Break it down, put it together. Flush water through it. And then using the water start working on your trigger control. Try writing your name on a piece of paper with it, that sort of thing. Okay, Too Many Sprues has too many hours on his hands and is clearly a train nut. And has some strange train duck general knowledge. Here we go, get a second coat down. Armour of Heracles. Oh, it's a Gravis suit. Damn it. I know he had, like, there was a name for his armour, I'm sure. Like, pre-Primaris, crossing of the Rubicons, you know, drinking all that mango juice. Pre that. Main unit, there is only one left, which is the Master class. Now, that is definitely... Wait, hang on. You're already a Patreon, right? You've done that part. Have you just not booked your lesson yet? Let me have a look. No, you're on a different tier. That's why I got confused. Cool. So the masterclass is available. I do know somebody that is interested in that, and it is meant to be for people that are graduates of the student course. So they have a basic understanding of a lot of the techniques that I use. They've gone through the Airbrush Next Steps and Special Effects course. However, if you're just looking for the same course but a condensed version, you'd rather have 2 lessons a month, then definitely go down that route. Again, though, like I said, I know somebody is interested in that. I talked to him over the phone earlier on. He wanted to make sure that that was the correct thing to do, rather than just book the course and not be able to do it. So, if you don't take it, somebody else is going to. Now, on that, next month, so December, maybe January, we'll see how things go. When I won't be working full-time at my day job as well as doing this, I am going to open up another set of slots. Now, when I do that, I will advertise everything in our Discord first. We'll make sure you guys have got at least a day or 2 to get your slots in, because you guys are the lifeblood of this community, and it's you guys I want to help out more than anybody else. We will then put that up onto Instagram and so on, and advertise those lessons elsewhere. So when there are more slots, you guys will be the first to know. Exclamation point Discord. If you're new to the stream and you're not a member of our Discord community and you're interested in that kind of thing, head on over there, get your place. Kets, I did wonder about that. I saw that you had either declined the Patreon or declined to like re-up or something. But I wasn't going to ask just in case like there was like an underlying reason for that. But that's good to know, man. That's really good to know. Hey, how you doing, dude? El Peterino. There we go. That took me a second. Right, here we've got pretty much just Macragge Blue. I'm going to start bringing in a bit of a Zenithor highlight on this. We want to retain a lot of our shadow. And normally, on greaves and things like that, you would highlight the kneecap, and then I like to do the bottom of the greaves, but there's no knee pad on this. So we're just going to do the bottom of his calf armor. We want this Macragge Blue, which is, technically speaking, an Ultramarine blue, as in Ultramarine the colour, not the Space Marine chapter. They are named after the colour. Not Ultramar. Ultramar's named after the colour as well. We're just going to make sure that this gets up nice and bright. We want a nice strong blue tone to a lot of this guy. For things like the thigh armor for his Terminator suit, we're just going to hit the middle of that field on both sides. Dirty Habit getting his sub on. Dude, thank you very much. It's 3 months in a row now. You utter boss. Sons of Rolo, how's it going? Yeah, really, really looking forward to doing the lessons on Monday. I'm going to show you guys something not really secret, but I haven't posted this anywhere yet. This is the progress that my student made on Monday. Now, to be fair, we had 8 hours of tuition. The first 4 hours-ish were just airbrush. The second 4 hours were just brushwork. In that first 4 hours, we did 3 workups on a Space Marine. We did a Dark Angel. This is mine, not his. Did a Dark Angel. Loving that green. Really loving that green. We did a Raven Wing Dark Angel. So that's that blue-black. That recipe's up on Patreon now. And a text version up on Friday. And then we did a bone for that Death Wing. You can see there's a nice bone underneath there going right up to a very almost white as well. We did all 3 of those. I'm going to show you Nick's. The mini on the left is the mini he painted before coming on the course. The mini on the right is the one he painted on the course. HDWRX, thank you very much for that sub and welcome. Just waiting for that alert to go. Here's what Nick did. That's the progression that the Airbrush, Next Steps, and Special Effects course gave this guy in 1 day. 1 day of work to go from the left to the right. December wind, 5 months. Mate, that is nearly half a year. Utter boss. Oh, I think I know who that is. How you doing, fella? But yeah, there you go. That's Nick's upgrade after following that course. Good improvement. Like I said, I will open up more slots on that once we are a full-time artist and no longer a software engineer. Time is coming in on that. Right, on these on the back, the one on the thigh, I'm just going to hit that top corner. The one on the leg, the back of the calf, will hit the bottom, same as we have done around the front there. And it's going to be the start of our brighter blue highlights. Red and silver wasn't finished either. That is correct. We didn't get a chance to finish the red or the silver. We didn't do any of the like random bits like pouches and all that sort of stuff. But all the green, all the gold. Not that the gold even got a proper highlight. That's literally just wash on gold. There's a lot still we could have done in that day. Right, the fists. The gauntlets of Ultramar. Let's get a strong highlight on top of that fist. And we're going to aim for the knuckle, like that first knuckle on those fingers. Full-time artist, definitely slacking it to old Mr. Sunak, telling people their job in the arts isn't viable. Lad, he says. Well, we don't know, mate. We're going to try. It might not be. But we're going to work very, very hard at trying to make it. Have a good go at this. This was kind of always the plan to do this full time, but it was meant to be like an early retirement thing, not a mid-30 retirement thing. So we'll see. Loza, how are you? Are you here to cheer on one of the 2 combatants in the Frohawk challenge, happening in a couple of weeks? I reckon you might be. Let's do this gauntlet as well. Hit those fingertips. Fingertips? Knuckles, not fingertips. Fingertips the other side. If you manage to hit those from here, you've somehow bent paint around a corner. You've become James McAvoy. Congratulations. I'm having no comment on this. Probably for the best. I know you're secretly rooting for me, but we can't tell Chris. It's okay, Loss. We'll keep it our secret. We can edit that out, right? Oh, we're live? So everyone go and get your vote in. Let's make Chris paint an Ultramarine. He loves painting Ultramarines. It'd be his favourite thing ever to paint. And the best thing about it is, we're going to auction these things off for charity at the very end. So he can't do a shit job of it. He has to give it his all. So... giving Calgar a manicure. Mate, even your chapter masters have got to get their glitz and glamour on, you know. Needs his mani-pedis. Next thing you know, he's having his roots dyed. Balls ironed. Alright. Now, there's a few other bits that are going to be blue here. We know a lot of this is going to be gold, but the inside track to that and the little horseshoe shape they get on top of the Terminator armor, I'd like that to be blue. He's making you hype to start. Dude, I'll bet. So let's get a nice highlight up on the top of that Terminator horseshoe. Sajsen PL, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. And let's also do this surround around the lower jaw / chest area. In fact, there's a part of this is the chest armor. That is Dirty Habit. Damn! Dropping a cheer bomb and a half on the stream's ass. Thank you very, very much, dude. That's insane. Is that one of your dirty habits? Dropping cheer bombs? That's not a bad habit. Loving the work, mate. Thank you very much. Can be Matthew. Matthew, that's much easier for me to pronounce. Thank you very much, Chief. There we go. Let's get in there on that chest piece. Then we've got these two bits of chest armor as well. I want to make sure those get hit blue. And we're aiming for that middle section. So you see right in there, that's where we go. I'm going to try and fade it out to dark as we go off towards both the left and the right side. Build that up. Get a nice strong ultramarine blue going on. Just going to clean my tip. Got a little bit of resistance. Boom. That's better. That's better. Well, just keep the tip clean, guys. Right, the U there will be white. All of this is going to be red and gold. All of that lot's blue. This bit, we'll do the middle field as blue. So let's just come in here on the top side of that. Carefully build up that highlight. I want to leave the darker shadow at the bottom there and build that blue up. I'll tell you what, let's zoom in just a touch. If we can get the focus to behave. No, the mini, not the... This. Focus this. Go on, do the mini. You can't focus on the rest of it. There's nothing there. Oh, come on, you bastard camera. Now, perhaps not all of our software amendments to the camera system have worked flawlessly. Never mind. Good old Pilot's Cracker. Even James got back from the gym to watch you paint this bad boy. Nice. Welcome back home, man. Assyrian. Good old Carol. I wonder if he was truly happy or a bit salty he wasn't the boss anymore when Bobby G got reanimated. I think he was like, oh, I can just beat up Tyranids now. I don't have to worry about anything else. This is amazing. Loza, I'm doing great. Got some real life drama going on, which is not ideal, but we're not going to go into it. Other than that, living the dream. Living the dream. Right. What we're doing on the top section here is we're going to build up the highlight on either side of this Terminator sort of carapace. We're going to do a top highlight on this, but we're trying to avoid most of this. We're going to do an edge highlight with the airbrush. I can show you how to do that now. You just basically use the overspray in your airbrush to just hit the areas you want. We know we're either going to paint over most of what's going on here with gold, or we're going to put a load of shadows in there. So that's totally fine to do. And there's our nice little blue. Now this top panel, the access panel, just want to get the very top of this. So we're going on with a very small amount of paint, as always is the case, to just get that top line. And you can see that. Banging. Any of you guys read the new Marvel comic? No, I'd love to get a copy of it though. Just to put up. You know, that's all. To have the thing and frame it. I don't really have time for reading comics anymore, which is a shame because that was what I did growing up. That was my childhood, was reading comic books. But the front cover looks epic. Right, just flushing through most of that. We're leaving a little bit of dregs of that just in the bottom of the pot. We're going to add in our Calgar blue because how can you paint Calgar without his own blue? Sugar! How you doing? Assyrian also had a fun game with a friend. He surprised me with fielding Custodes. I want to go light on him by bringing Space Marines without any re-rolls. It was close to the last round, so even though I won at the end by a lot of points, I could feel he had fun. Nice, dude. I love close games. Toonie Spruce. Damn, man. Hopefully it turns up soon. And Ghost Heathen. Thank you very much for that host. Hosts are amazing. They really help out streamers. They help to promote the stream. It's super, super awesome if you would have done that. Thank you very much, man. Right, here we go. Getting that Calgar blue. We've left a little Macragge blue in there to help our blends along. So we've got predominantly Calgar blue coming out of the pot now. Just beating that existential dread one day at a time, mate. That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do. Smash each day in the face, one day at a time. What else is there? Right, let's start working again at the bottom and come up the body. We need to keep our highlights smaller now. The whole point of this is that this blue is our almost brightest highlight. We may come in with some sickly skin if we feel we need to just amp it up a little bit more. We're going to put this down. I'm going to try and make our shadows look darker to build the overall tone of that ultramarine blue a little bit. So we've got to be selective with this. Coming on that front little boot cap. What do you call that? Toe cap. There we go. Going down at the bottom of his shin guards. Inside at the bottom of that Terminator leg guard. Let's do this side. There you can see that blue much brighter on this leg now than the other one. And that's where we're heading for the entirety of the mini. Can I put a few extra bits of gas in the whip? Maybe you can tell me what I can do better for future projects. I'm calling this one done. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That gas is a fucking joy to behold. So, for you, this one time, I don't mind. Right, quick little spot just there towards the top of the thigh. This one we can only do the bottom because there's purity seals in the way. So we get a little highlight in there as well. Let's do the other leg while we're at the bottom of the Mini. So again, hit that toe cap. Hit the bottom of the greave. So we're aiming basically into that cloak of his and using our overspray to help us out a bit. There we are. On the thigh, on this side, we're going to have to go for the bottom of it. Not ideal, but because of the shadow and everything else, it's the only place that makes sense to have that highlight going down. So that's in there. Now look at the difference between the bottom half of the Mini and the top half of the Mini. That's a nice ultramarine blue. Last time I Dread saved my ass pretty much by throwing sticks out the window. During a shooting phase, he killed 1.5 Alaris Terminators and killed a full-life Valerian. And then, there's an and then. In close combat, you beat up Valdor or whatever the Trajan Valoris from... Holy shit. Damn, son, that's impressive. You're right, though. Stats went right out the window. You can safely say that that Dread's going to be absolutely shit in his next game to make up for that. He needs a name, though. He has successfully completed a heroic deed. So he must have a name. Let's get this top center plate and that chest armor. And then start building in around that face as well. The face being one of the focal points on the miniature, we want to have a clear path that the audience, the people that are looking at our Mini, are being drawn up to that face. It'll have a nice frame in gold. That would be nice flesh tones. But we want this blue to draw your eye up there. Give Dread some battle honors as well. I think that's a damn good idea. Okay, let's hit the top of that fist. Get some of these digits, fingers and thumbs. Again, aiming for that knuckle. What we're really doing is aiming for my finger. So we're aiming for like this point here, right? And we put paint in there. Tell you what, there you go. You can see that's where the paint's going. So I'm going to put the paint there, and I'm going to move our airbrush just towards those fingers enough to just allow the overspray to give us that highlight. All right, that's how you edge highlight with an airbrush. Call it the Custodes Crusher. Mate, it's not a wrestling name from like the mid-80s. Although it might be. That would be the best kind of name, let's be honest. But then he'd be something like Christian the Custodes Crusher. As in paint my Primaris means as Alpha Legion, I might try freeing a Hydra on the chassis. Oh, as I paint my... Cool. First got to train that at a larger scale. Mate, all of my Primaris Marines, my own Marine army, are Alpha Legion. And if you look in here, every now and again you'll see a shot of them going past. And I painted that freehand Hydra on every single shoulder pad, freehand double X 20th Legion symbol on every shoulder pad. Admittedly, some of those three-headed Hydras look like three ducks just swimming past, but it's there. Again, let's do the top of this fist. Get that blue up nice and strong now. Banging. Starting to pop. Starting to pop. Let's do the other fist while we're still working the arms a little bit. In fact, actually, let's just stay here a sec and just touch that elbow joint up a little. Well, the elbow joint itself, the little bit of armor plate on there to be blue, but the servos around it to have that very definite metallic dark silver you'd expect from something like that. Again, using that trick where you spray past the Mini and then just come in with the overspray to hit those edge highlights. All that's really going to do is help blend in the brushed highlight that we're going to put down on it. This isn't in place of a brushed highlight. You have to do your brush work as well as your airbrush work. If you don't, You've wasted potential. I know a lot of painters, even some commission studios, in fact, that rely a little bit too much on the airbrush to do all of the work and not just the bulk of it. And you can get so much more with just a few minutes with a brush. Daffy Dominatus. When it's a basing tutorial coming out on YouTube this Friday, it is this Friday. It will be scheduled for 10 AM. I hope, as long as nothing goes wrong. It'll be the first time I've scheduled a video up on YouTube, so hoping that everything goes to plan. If not, it'll be when I get back from my other halves on Friday. It is her birthday on Thursday, so there will be no stream this Thursday, remember folks. We're going to try not to miss another one. We're going to say this year. Before we say that though, let's just look at the calendar. December. So Christmas Eve, the 24th, is a Thursday. I might miss that one. New Year's Eve, I couldn't give a fuck about. Let's stream on New Year's Eve. Let's do a fun stream on New Year's Eve. Countdown at midnight. Give somebody a prize at midnight. I don't know. Something cool. Like a starter set or something. So let's do a big 31st December giveaway stream. Because it's New Year's Eve. And we'll miss Christmas Eve. So that'll be the only other stream we miss this year is Christmas Eve. Unless like some weird apocalypse happens. New Year's vibe sounds good. See, we've got a load of nerds in the chat. We don't need to be going to the club and paying 15 quid a drink. Not that you'll be able to, let's be honest here. I'm planning the blackout exit of 2020. I could join you in that. You know? But let's have a painting stream first. Get shit-faced. Do a massive giveaway. I'd say paint the town red, but we might still be doing Dark Angels at that point. And it'll be green, you know. Bro, it's such a big drinking event. It's Scotland, but I don't drink. Oh. Fair juice. John! How you doing, brother? Everyone, it's Earl Ventry. Absolute beast. John, do you remember, and you might not because of the video, but do you remember when we went to that Indian takeaway up at the Hellstorm event, and before we went, we stopped in a pub that had a piano, and you had a little bit of a tinkle on the ivories? Because I had to clear out a load of videos and photos from my Google photo drive earlier on, because it was running out of room, and I found you playing the piano. It was amazing. It was so amazing. Man of many talents. He can paint. He can play 40k well. And he can tinkle away like Elton John. Wait, no, that's a completely different thing. So again, we're just getting those highlights right on the very top of that Terminator carapace, and then we're just going to get this little line in here. So a little bit careful. There you go. There's that nice highlight. Let's do the back here, which we completely forgot about earlier on. So we're going to fade this in really, really carefully. All we need to do is just go on super, super thin and do several passes while I sort the music out. And that way this highlight color will fade in naturally anyway. He can play well, mate. He is a beast on the table. One of the only people I've lost to this year. Plays Eldar and plays them very, very well. Came second at the RTT I ran in, should we say September? or was it August? The Art of War is here! Exclamation point AOW in the chat in celebration of the utter beast modes that are these guys. How are you guys doing? What was your stream about this way? Are we going to get an updated tier list with Knights not being in tier D in November's tier rankings? Nick with a peace offering for putting Knights so low. See, it's never forgotten, Nanavati. Never forgotten. One day it'll happen, man. You and me, final round of the LVO. And you're like, fuck, man. I thought Knights were shit. How you folks doing? Always good to have you here. We're painting some old school cool today. We've got Mr. Marneus Calgar. The old version in a Terminator armor. None of this Primaris bollocks. This is one of the only minis that won the Golden Demon 40k single miniature category without being converted. You lost to a Knight this year at LVO. You have a score to settle. Oh, mate. Before you get a Grey Knight's army, once you get comfortable with painting, I have got a Grey Knight's army. I just need to paint it. But we're not going typical scheme. We're doing a very dark blue, slightly NMM style look to it. So, just took my mum's laptop apart for the HDD because she broke it somehow. Damn. Stanish says, hello, can you please help me with the Tempest Wolves colour scheme I've just started? If you could tell me what that is, I can probably give you some tips on how to do it, but I will tell everyone this. Unless it's one of the main chapters of Space Marines that I'm likely to see on a table at a tournament, I probably don't know what it is. So. Right, just going to give the airbrush a quick clean out before we pop this down for a little while. Now we've done our highlights, I want to see what we look like with a bit of a recessed shade before I think about adding in anything like a sickly skin to the mix. Sickly skin works really well with blue because it's an off-white, but part of the medium has a blue hint to it. As a result, it works really, really well to highlight blue up. Time Bones, thank you for the follow, dude. Celtic Craig says, dark grey and rich crimson red, just goggled. Having to do the metal parts, usual silver, but banners and stuff, I'm going to do purple and yellow. Still working on my own bit of lore for them. So wait, hang on, are they... Oh, that's for your... Yeah, sorry, that's for the Grey Knights. Got confused. Okay, I mean, dark grey. So first things first, have you got access to an airbrush? That's what we need to know. That's the first question. What we'll do next, we can grab some blue tone. We're just going to hit every single one of these recesses. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to be well worth it. It's going to really amp out our blue. Then we can start getting our edge highlights down once we know the true value of what it is that we're dealing with. Let's grab a wet palette. So if you're doing dark grey and red, if you've got an airbrush, great. Work up from a mixture of like a dark grey, either black and Mechanica Standard Grey as a base, or like Esching Grey or whatever you've got that's even darker than that. They don't have an airbrush. Brilliant. Well, in that case then, prime it black, paint everything a dark grey, and then if you're looking at doing an heavy metal style of painting where they do like highlights that are all edge highlights, boxes around stuff, then just take a mid-tone grey for your first box, like Mechanica Standard Grey. That's a good one. And then take a very, very small amount of a light grey and just hit the corners of it. Thank you for that follow, dude. If you are looking to do something a little bit more like my style, where we have a few edge highlights, but most of the work is gradients and transitions, then you'll need to start to blend in everything you've got. This is a quick workup on a Dark Angel we did the other day as part of a painting lesson. And once you've got your glazes going up into there, edge it with a little bit of a nice sort of mid-tone grey to keep it nice and dark. For crimson, honestly, one of my favourite ways of painting red right now is to mix a bright red like Evil Sunz Scarlet or Kato Red base with black, get a solid coat of that on a miniature, then work up a little bit of Kato Red into it, get 2 highlights down, one with a mix, one with just plain Kato Red, and then bam, you've got a great red. So those are the two colours that you say are the main part of the armour. That's how I do it. Let's get that blue tone, which is, I want to say this one. It was not this one. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Yay! Finally. So, Blue Tone by the Army Painter. It's a brand that I know is very close to the heart of the guys over there at the Art of War. And if you are into competitive 40k in any way, shape or form, and you're not already a follower of the Art of War and a subscriber to them over on YouTube, what are you doing? Go and do it. I watch a lot of their content. Not everything that gets put out, I just don't have time. But I watch a lot of their content. They have some sick battle reports. And it's always great to see some of the best players in the world duking it out. Normally you only get to see that kind of thing in a battle report that's being recorded at a tournament. And most of the time, not all, but most of the time, you don't get to hear what the players are saying. You get some commentary from people that you hope know the game. And that's it. So getting to watch these guys talk through their turns, listening to what it is that they're saying, so you can understand the plays that they're making, is key. Top-down view is kind of hard to follow. For me, it's not so much. However, I know I am someone that plays a living fuck ton of 40k. Ash, the serial hobbyist, thank you for the follow and welcome. Stamesh, you're welcome, dude. Scuppered your plans, mate. Like, I was going to go to the LVO and win with knights. You know? It's unlikely to happen now. Because it was so likely to happen before, but, you know. We're going to do it. Still haven't played a game in 9th. This is heresy. Somebody get that man a table. So you see what we're doing here? We're just trying to leave a nice recessed shade of this blue in all of the areas that would be a shadow. All right. What this is actually going to do in terms of its like mechanical sort of effect on the miniature is it's going to start sharpening up a lot of what is there. What we're going to see then is a bit more of an emphasis on the areas we've applied a highlight to. And this is an optical illusion. This is one of those tricks that isn't just an art thing. This is everything kind of works like this thing. If you look at how computer monitors work, how good TVs work, historically, one of the things they used to do is basically just draw black boxes around stuff. One of the first, I think it was Sony Bravia, I think. It was a TV. I can't remember the name of the model. It was one of the first ever, like, truly high definition screens. What they used to do to get that definition, to get everything looking so sharp, was draw a little black box around every pixel. So it gave you the effect of something being super sharp, super precise, and that's what we're doing on the miniature here. And the reason I think that the recessed shading element of what we do here is so important is because you've got to hit either every recessed shade or every highlight. You've got to do one or the other. Now, of those two tasks, one of them is quite quick and is really forgiving. I'll let you work out which one of those two is. But if you're having difficulties, it's this one. The other one requires precision, brush control, exactly the right consistency of paint, and so much more to get right. So for me, I'll hit every single recess on the Mini that I need to for that color, just so that I can skimp on some of the highlights. That makes my highlights look more natural. If you look at the Heavy Metal team and the box art for stuff, in fact, let's do a quick example of this. Let's grab some box art. Here is the Space Marine Chaplain on bike. All of this black has been painted by painting everything black, then painting a mid-tone on every single edge, and I mean every single edge. Look at these boxes around everything. All of this boxed out, so on, so on, so on. And then taking a very light grey and doing the same, but just staying within the lines. That style is very different to my own style. As you can see, mine shares a common color theme with this one. That's kind of it. But I've got far less edge highlights on mine, yet mine still looks fully highlighted because I've got every single one of those recessed shades and I've just put down the right highlights. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. But this is why I paint this way. That's the rationale behind what we do. Fun fact about CRTs, they needed to be tuned based on your latitude due to the difference in the Earth's magnetic field. A CRT built in Eastern Canada looked warped as fuck. I didn't know that. That's awesome. My main mini bro ordered some Winsor & Newton brushes. Awesome. Maladeus, that's fantastic, man. Get them size 1s on deck. I literally use this brush for everything. We have old versions that we use for things that don't require a good tip. Maybe you're just doing some base coating. Maybe you've got some washes to put down on stuff that is very, very textured and you don't want to damage the brush, like fur. Maybe you've got to do some stippling. That's what the old Winsor & Newtons are for. But they last me a good few months a piece. And I paint between 40 and 50 hours a week now. When we're doing this full time, that could easily be a 60 to 80 hour week with a brush, and I still expect these things to last me at least a month, if not more, each. When it comes to colors, I think they should stop doing white signs with black text, and it's really hard to read when there is bright light. Okay. My mum had the same issue. She used to read like word processor documents on a blue background with white text. Right, for the hands, we've got loads of recesses in here. We can afford to be a little bit cavalier, a little bit less careful because we've got so much edge highlighting to do around these parts, but let's just get that blue tone into all of these little recesses. I love this knuckle duster made out of skulls on a power fist. So metal. Steiner! How you doing, man? You got gifted a sub earlier on. Everyone, go give Steiner a follow. He's a cool dude. He's a pretty decent painter. Definitely worthy of a follow. You can go chill out in his stream when I'm not on. One size 1 was in it last week. Amazon sent me 1 bag of size 1s. 2 free. Dude. I need Amazon to make that mistake with me. To be fair, I did stop buying mine from Amazon. There were rumors of there being some forgeries on Amazon, and I never really put much stock in it until I got some, and it was just a bad batch. And I mentioned to the people that sent them out and said, look, these brushes are not what they normally are. I think they've either just not passed the quality control, but still somehow been released into the wild. And they replaced them, but it was a lot of work to get that replacement. So definitely pretty decent, man. I mean, I can't pick you up too much. I'd never retain my audience, As accurate as it may be, telling everyone you're an utter ubermensch when it comes to painting is going to do me no favors, But everyone, you should check out Steiner. He is a great dude. And really, that's the main thing. Like, I can watch somebody that's a great painter, but if they're not going to engage me on a personal level, like, kind of bored. I've done it now. Comments up, Bob. Why did you not stop me? I thought we were friends, man. Thought we were friends. Where were you when I needed you to jump to my rescue and shut me the fuck up? Again, just get all these little lines. I always wondered, like, when I was a kid, if this little hatch was what they used to get into the armor. Obviously, I know that's not the case, but when you don't really think through an idea properly. Oh, dude, I've had my hoodie up all day, so we've got like this going on right now. And earlier I tried to fix it using the camera, but the camera's mirrored, so I was trying to push it like that way, but instead I was just doing this all the time and made it so much worse. That's why I watched Jay, for him to insult me when I post pics in the whip gallery. Hey man, it's a tough gig, but someone's got to do it, alright? I will insult you if nobody else does. Also, most of your stuff in the whip gallery is stuff that I've painted. So, get out. Comments up, Bob. Why are you typing with one hand? I don't need to know that, alright? Put the other hand where we can see it, comments up, Bob. Just, wash it first. Like a bad guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! The heart of the cards. Brilliant fish. I regret everything. You're doing the dishwasher, huh? I'm going to get hate for this, but it's going to be funny, so I've got to say it. How is your mum? Everyone's left the stream. It's just me by myself now. Just got to say it. Yeah, cringe, definitely. Full of cringe. Your dishwasher's your wife, yeah. But yeah. Classic jokes. They're never good. The classic. Just watching TV. Nice. I can't remember the last time I turned on the TV. Well, I did start. So I started watching Truth Seekers on Halloween, the new Amazon Prime show with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. That's pretty cool. I'm liking that a lot. The Johnsonator, how you doing? I made her own Twitch. She's loose around these parts. Nice, dude. Does she do the mini painting as well? I heard you talking to her the other day when I was on your stream. So this is proper fucking nice. Oh, wow. There are worse things, fish. Right, there we go. That's all our recess shading, I think. Got a little bit left just up here, I guess. And then that should be all of that part of the Mini. Make sure there's nothing that we've missed. Oh, we have. We've missed the entire inside of that leg. What an utter burk. There you go. Always pays to double check, guys. Here we are. That's all of that part done. Groovy. Fair enough, fish. It's one of those, what do they call it? It's like an irrational thing, so. Right. Now we can start getting the highlights down. So we're going to grab some Calgar blue, and then like I said earlier on, we're going to get that sickly skin going on. So, by the way, if anyone knows anywhere that's got some P3 sickly skin in stock, hit a brother up, because I'm nearly out of this. I can't find it anywhere, unfortunately, at the moment either. Calgar blue, sickly skin. I'm going to do about a 50-50 mix, and this is going to be our highlight pass. Just binged on the Mission Impossible series with a friend who'd never seen them before. Speaking of Simon Pegg, nice, mate. I'm on the Bourne Identity. No, Bourne. I've just finished with the one with Hawkeye in. What's his fucking name? Jeremy Renner. Just finished that one. Comments up, Bob. Take care, man. Thanks for dropping by. Much love, as always, dude. See you soon. Remember, no stream on Thursday, mate. So this is going to give us a nice, bright blue to highlight with. Treat your minis as you treat your other half. Never neglect the inner leg. There's a lot of things I'm not going to do to my minis. One in stock at Wayland Games. Is it fuck? Is it fuck? I bet you it's not. And even if it was, I'll find a workaround than go to Wayland Games. Wayland Games will tell you that shit is in stock, and then it's not in stock, and the tape's being ordered. Is it? Oh, fuck off. Is it honestly 2 in stock, 2 available? Bollocks. I'll phone them tomorrow. I just made an order from there, and they didn't have them shown on the website when I bloody ordered them. That's a pig. Right, let's get our highlights down. Now, we want this to be fairly minimalist with our highlights. That's why we've done all that work with those recessed shades. We've got to hit the important ones. And the point of a highlight is to draw attention to something or provide differentiation between two things in a way that mimics the effect of light hitting the model. There's more to it than just this bit should be brighter. You've got to make that distinction. So what we're going to do is hit everywhere that needs to have that highlight and nowhere else. So we've done the toe cap, and we've done the very front of like the sole of his Terminator boot to help showcase that gap. It helps show the contrast that's right there. That's exactly what you're after. We've got this upper part of his boot. We don't want to hit the whole thing though, so I'm just going to come in here at the side and look at how skinny we're trying to make our highlights. When you're doing an edge highlight, think about how maybe you've got a can of Coke or a bottle of something. It's got that glass reflectiveness or the metallic reflectiveness to it. There's always that highlight. It's like that one straight line down it that looks really thin. It's super bright. That's kind of the effect we're going for here. So we're using paint that's very thin. The correct thickness for stuff like this, I feel at least, is that it should be able to be picked up by the brush without deforming the brush's shape very easily. And it should be able to go down onto the miniature with the lightest possible pressure. If that's not happening, and you feel that you're sort of scratching at the surface a little bit, then the chances are that your paint is too thick. You just need to thin it down a little bit. Why are we talking about Lush? Alchemist Workshop. Okay, we'll try that one as well. But tomorrow on the phone, what do you call it? Firestorm. Because I just made an order from them recently. I'll see if they can add it to the order, and I'll just pay them over the phone for the price of the paint. Nice looking out, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Get in here, get that framework for the armor. A little highlight on this. I'm going to put a little tiny one just up here. This is an area that's in shadow, so wouldn't normally think to put one there, but because that's such a nice area to get that highlight, it draws attention there. It gives us that extra contrast. All that contrast gives us interest in the miniature. The more interest that's there, the more people want to look at it. You know, the better job we've done as an artist. Let's come in here, hit the top section around the knee. Now the knee we left dark on purpose, so again we're going to get that massive sense of contrast on this. It's really, really going to help us out and come right into that that corner there as well. While we're on this side, let's get in just down here, the bottom of this greave. Just get a nice sharp highlight there. So there you go. You can see on that leg, we've got something that's a lot more blue. Now it's going to look weird because this looks super bright, and then this is all a lot of black because there's so much detail in here. Once we've picked all this out in like the gold and the sort of parchment color scheme that we'll end up doing for that, the blue will look much more solid because you can tell what's there. Those little voids, those black areas, absolutely are doing things to our paint job right now. They're changing the overall effect in quite a dramatic way. For this set of struts, let's again hit the sort of scaffold part, the reinforcement. Get in there at the front. Just want to go around the corner a little bit more. And the same here. I mean, do all of these parts in blue, but areas like this where you've got would be like a massive rivet or a bolt of some description, those we'll do in silver just to help break up the blue a little bit more. There's also going to be a little bit more of a point of interest on the back here, where we've got blue all the way around that shoulder pad and on the back there. So just a little bit of silver to help break that up. So this shoe, going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to hit this side of it. The other side, the inside being a shadow. So again, nice skinny highlight on both the sole and that boot cap. Just get this little ankle protector. Just in there at the side as well. Just get the top of his knee. That's way too much paint on the brush. if you've got too much paint on your brush, when you go to apply your highlight, regardless of how light your brush pressure is, you will end up putting too much paint on the model. And that'll give you a thick highlight as well. So there's a couple of things that you can do to help give you those super skinny highlights, which should be the goal almost every time. They just look a little bit more realistic, they look a bit more controlled, a little tidier. They completely destroyed my masterpiece sound wave, never been so pissed off. Full on rage, the guy, the door stopped, he tried handing this. Wait, what? Oh, Hermes. Fucking my herpes, mate. They are terrible. They are terrible. When I found out my Indom boxes were being delivered by them, I'm like, oh no. No, 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 no. How do you feel about when people dry brush on highlights? I feel that they are limiting themselves as an artist. So I don't like dry brushing. I don't. Because there's no reason to. I said on stream yesterday in the Hellstorm stream with Mikey and I think I've dry brushed literally 2 minis this year, and I counted it somewhere in the region of about 350 miniatures I've painted in the last 12 months. And out of all of that, I've dry brushed 2 things. One of them was a base, and I did it because I want to show you guys how to dry brush properly, and I genuinely can't remember what the other one was. Honestly can't. So if in all that time, I've dry brushed 2 things, proves you don't need a dry brush. And that includes bases. Could have been 700 minis. Could have been, mate. But I only did 1 Necron weekend, you know. Could have just done 7 of those. That's already nearly 800 minis, just that, you know. So there's no need to dry brush. And the effect you get with a brush hitting your edge highlights like this, I honestly feel is so much better than the effect you get with a dry brush. There's no chalky texture. There's just nice, clean, straight lines. Now, if this guy was wearing extremely battered armor, maybe it was like a beaten studded leather or something along those sorts of lines. Wu-Tang Clan! Get it, someone. Dude, we were talking about you the other day. Do you know you have the absolute highest number of meeps at the moment? You need to be here for a month-end stream, man. Buy them tickets, get a chance at that voucher. Everyone, this guy is a fucking legend. Give him some love. Don't see you often enough, man. It's always good to have you about. How's things? But yeah, like I said, if we've got some armor that's very beaten by nature, I could understand why someone may want to dry brush to get that kind of texture, but for me it's the wrong texture. It's only really good for stone, and I feel there are better ways of doing stone than with a dry brush anyway. Like, if you guys want to see how I do a base without a dry brush, well, here's one of them. No dry brush done on any of this model. Definitely not on the base. There's a video going up on YouTube, exclamation point YouTube, on Friday morning that explains exactly how I did that. See this big rock at the front? Definitely looks like a rock. No dry brush. Guess that guy looks okay. He looks alright. I rate 8 out of 8, mate. But no dry brush, you know. Wu-Tang, thank you very much, brother. He's been a lot of fun to paint. He was one of the minis that got showcased on a Warhammer stream that immediately made me think, I need to paint that. And I either need someone to commission it, or I'm just going to buy it myself and paint it. Unfortunately, Mr. Nick McDade came through strong on that. Peckish Fox, I've got a bone to pick with you, my lad. Ooh, ooh. First off, let's get some love in the stream for Mr. Peckish Fox. Everyone, give that man a follow if you don't already. He is an utter beast, and he knows what he's done. He knows what he's done. Salty J time. Hellfire 401, 100 cheers. You utter babe. Thank you very much, my dude. Get some love in the stream for Hellfire. So for those of you that don't know, Plutonium OD. That's a cool name. That is a cool name. I like it. And Monkey Piet. Thank you guys both for the follow. In a couple of weeks, Chris Frozin and I are painting a Space Marine Inceptor. We're both painting the Plasma Scepter guy. And Hellfire with a follow as well. Superstar. What we're going to do is we're going to spend the same amount of time painting a mini. We're going to do it on stream. We have got a vote going at the moment. Liam B. Ski. One of those, I hope. Thank you for the follow. During the stream, and we need you guys to vote, especially put Frohawk, get a link to the vote, head on over to here. Let's refresh this, let's get some results. Ooh! It's tight at the top! Drawn in first place, either a Soul Drinker or an Ultramarine. Dog Boys in third, Mortifactors in fourth, and Excoriators, who are cool, in fifth, but a long way behind first place. We need you guys to go and vote on what chapter Chris and I are going to be painting these minis in. This vote will run to my stream on Sunday. It'll be in both my stream and his stream. There's loads of chats to vote, but why not go and do it now? So we're painting a Plasma Inceptor. At the start of the stream, we both choose 10 paints and put them out. Those are the paints we can use to paint our mini. Then we take another 10 paints and put them off to one side. That's the sideboard of paints. Somebody that may be a Twitch streamer that may have just raided us said, I've got an idea. Why don't you get why don't you get chat to pick one of your paints every 30 minutes and you can't use it? I wonder who that was. So, Mr. Page Fox, hope you're feeling happy. Son of a bitch. Mrs. Fox likes the Mohawk. We've got a slightly side hawk today. Have you seen, like, this? I've had my hoodie up most of the day because it's been chilly. So, Her Salcero, how you doing, brother? 8 months. That's right. Could be Ultramarines without blue. Like, gotta paint an Ultramarine. Can't use blue. Now, I know that first 30 minutes you've got, so I can get all my blue done in that 30 minutes, then I'll be alright. But I know the chat's going to be immediately, can't use blue. Which means, obviously, in my 10 paints, there might be a couple of blues. Give me a little bit of protection. But, oh man, it's going to be a fun stream. We've got a time limit. We've got the chat fucking with our paints. We're going to auction off the minis at the very end for charity. So we need to pick a charity as well. That's the thing we've got to do. Look, just choose 5 blues and 2 golds. Wouldn't be a challenge then. Exactly, right? Got to do it right. You know, there'll be more than one blue picked for things like highlights and so on. But we're not going to load the dice. That's just wrong. Now, once we've painted these minis, like I said, they're going to get auctioned off, but both mine and Chris's communities are going to vote on which mini we think is best. Now, whoever loses that vote, having the worst mini, has to do a 24-hour stream, and every 2 hours they have to declare how much they like the person that won. So if you want to see Chris do a 24-hour stream, vote for me. No one wants to see me do a 24-hour stream. You know, nah, it's boring. We've done that already. That was easy. Home office time. More time for Warhammer. How am I doing? We're doing alright, man. Doing alright. Got some life shit happening. But we're doing good. We're very much looking forward to the release of our first YouTube video that I'll have edited myself on Friday morning. And the very first PDF guide going up on Patreon on how to paint black. So that chaplain we showed off earlier on, got a written guide on how to paint black. That's going to go live Friday morning. Really looking forward to all these things. This is the culmination of essentially my painting efforts over the last couple of years. This is where it's all been leading. So very exciting. So I never really understood what these things are underneath Power Fists. They're on all Power Fists. Tist! How you doing, dude? 3 months on a 2-month streak. Oh yeah. Have to say how much I like you. Right now, not very much. Mate, I love you. You know that. Tesacero, that sounds delicious. Love me some Imperial Stouts. Got a few stout fans in the chat as well, I know. Baz the Brit, Voodoo Yaz. These boys know how to drink. Peckish can compete, but he has to do Howling Griffins. Yeah. There you go, Peckish. That's how you can make it up to us. You can paint Howling Griffins. And I'll let you have the yellow and the red all stream. You can't get out of that fucking cross-section. Absolutely not. Also notice, no decals allowed. And that transfer bullshit. Got to paint those insignias. Enjoy your free-handed griffin. I'll even let you keep the black paint in play, mate. And I'll give you no excuses to get out of it. All yours. So on the fingers, you saw we just got those little highlights at the top. And then just down the side there to help really just peek out that detail. Look at the contrast we've got there. That little panel line of blue that we did in that recessed shade. That's really helped to up our contrast. That contrast, like I've said so many times now, adds interest. That interest is what gives you attention for your miniature. This is why people see your minis from the other side of the tournament hall. Come over and have a look. This is why the judges for Best Painted come up and go, yes. Jason Customs, thank you for the follow and welcome. We're using a highlight color. I missed that. We're using a mix of Calgar Blue and Sickly Skin from P3. Calgar Blue, obviously, that Ultramarine blue highlight that GW does. Sickly Skin is one of the best colors in the P3 range. It's such a great utility color. Honestly, so good. Wait, did I give Ben my sickly skin? I think I did. You will have words with Mr. Ben. I think he had an order from Element, and he was waiting for that to come in, and he was running out, so I gave him my spare one and said replace it with yours. I think. Because I wouldn't normally let myself run down to this stuff. This is like, come the apocalypse, this is currency, and we're in the fucking apocalypse. So, He's not in any position to be critiquing anyone's video. Wait, what? I mean, you can critique my video if you like, dude. I'm always in favor of feedback. Especially on like the stuff that I've been editing. Like, I really, like, honestly, I want feedback on that. If it's not edited well, if you find it's difficult to follow, if maybe the pace is off, you know, whatever, please let me know, guys. Same as anyone that's a Patreon weekly reader, when the PDF guide is released on Friday for you folk, have a read. If you think, look, I need a bit more explanation here, Jay, on how you're doing stuff, please let me know. Rutang, mate, this is absolutely one of my favourite minis that GW have ever done. The old school metal Calgar. This particular version, so good. The one before it, when he's a little bit like, yo! It's a little bit too much. But this, oh, so good. This is a Winsor & Newton Series 7, especially with brushes. Alright, let's do the other hand. And again, it's all about just getting those skinny edge highlights. Don't draw boxes around everything. Make sure you hit the right edges. So here we're going for the top, the edges on the outside. We'll do all of the sort of lateral. And then because the thumb is kind of flat on to the sky, we will just get these edges as well. So this is one of the only things that will draw a box around. Now you must be careful when you're working with a metal mini. The paint is much more likely to rub off if you handle it. So whenever your hand is moving around the back of here, be really, really cognizant of that fact. And always just try and hold on to something if you've got a brace against the miniature that you haven't painted yet. When you're using an airbrush as well, all your paint is really, really thin. Any airbrush paint is basically you putting a glaze down on the miniature. Because the paint you're using is so thin, that's kind of what you've got coming out of it. Because of that, it's even more likely to tear on a metal mini. So you must be real careful when you're handling these. Always use something to paint and handle. I've got some plastic shot glasses, blue tack, this will do. Don't buy Citadel's new butt plug. Your mum might get a little suspicious. It's Sammy! Thank you very much for the sub, Sammy. How are you? Welcome to the stream. I know a couple of Sammys. Gonna brew a big pastry stout with different stuff and decided yet. Passion fruit makes a beer taste. Oh, I can't do sours. I can't do sours. My housemate loves sours. It's not for me. It's not for me. Had a really nice stout last night though. Needed something to take my mind off a few things, and so had a stout by a company, S43, which is a London-based brewery, I believe. And it was called The One We Can't Talk About. And that was because they made a stout, which was a caramel chocolate peanut butter stout. Caramel chocolate peanut butter stout. Hey, point to start painting. How you doing? And they called it "You're Not You When You're Thirsty" and put kind of the Snickers style logo on it, and they got a lawsuit. They literally slapped on them straight away, which made sense. Like, I get it, I understand. You got to protect your IP, you know. So they remade the beer with an ever so slightly different recipe and called it the one we can't talk about, and it tasted like drinking a Snickers bar. Whew. Whew. So good. So good. How many bites did I have? Sorry, I don't understand, dude. You like the GW handle? Cool. It's not for me, mostly because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 13 shot glasses with minis on the go at the moment. That's like 90 quid's worth of painting handles. And this is comfortable enough for me. Always get a double. It fits better in hand, and you know, who wants a little drink? Do the GW handle better than your pill bottles? Yeah, pill bottles tapered. Because for me, that's got a lot to do with it. I tried using paint pots at one point, and because they didn't have much of a taper, like the old Citadel ones, like the tall ones that had Citadel on it. Can't fit a knight on a handle. You can fit one on the shot glass. You just need enough blue tack. Use a rattle can lid. That'll do it. A group of Maryland Deathfest friends of a pub launched there every year. We go and do a couple of beer challenges. Someone picked a chocolate peanut butter stout and it was vile, but not as bad as a jalapeno IPA. Ooh. I've had some chili beer, and I've got to be in the mood for it. There's one I really like, which is a stout by a brewery, Evil Twin Brewery, and it's called Even More Hazelnut Chili Biscotti. Even More Hazelnut Chili Break. So the break refers to their biscotti break stout that they did, and that was banging. Like, that's a really, really good beer. You get a lot of the flavors of biscotti coming through. It's nice and thick. The even more is they up the alcohol content of it, and then they added in some hazelnut and some chili, and that's a great beer. But I've got to be in the mood to drink that. I've got to want that specific beer. I can't just pick that one up and have it go with it. Do you not fancy a butt plug paint holder? But what would I do with my butt plug? Point of reference, I currently don't own a butt plug. Please don't send me one. A few of you have got my address. I don't need one for Christmas. Just realised we missed the edge of his knuckle duster. His skull encrusted knuckle duster. Who says Ultramarines aren't badass? Come on. Frozin can print you on a surprise. No. Frozin does turning. He does wood turning. So he could carve me a little wooden and resin prison pocket accessory. Please tell me some of you have seen Deadpool 2. Ritio Santi. Hell no. No one needs a dragon. Favorite is a meme with a vibrator and says GW paint handle with built-in paint shaker. Awesome. Awesome. That's going to agitate more than paint, mate. Yeah, it's a paint shaker for sure, mate. Totally. Why do they even have those in... No, I don't want to know. No, I despair at humanity enough. Right, we've just got a little bit of blue armor in there. We're just going to get a couple of tiny highlights on some of that just to showcase that it's there. Like I said earlier on, highlights serve to enhance detail by accentuating contrast, exaggerating it in places, whilst giving it the effect of light hitting it. It's not just about this bit should be brighter, it's about the whole kit and caboodle. Every highlight's got a reason to be there. Paint shaker and back massager here. If you want Secret Santa ideas, jump on Wish. Let's just say workers somehow agreed to only getting items off Wish. Oh dear. Are they going to get their Christmas Secret Santas on time? Because I've ordered some stuff off Wish before. Like cheap t-shirts and stuff. And they say like, you could get your order in like 2 weeks. They mean 6. Saragon, I just had the most horrible thing to say to your comment, and I'm glad I didn't. Can't decide on dinner, got an hour to figure it out and eat pizza. Pizza. If you can't decide on dinner, pizza. I mean, don't ask me what topping now, but pizza. Or lasagna. There you go. I give you 2 options now. What more do you want from me? Just mix up a little bit more. This batch of highlight just running low now. China orders are 2 weeks to 9 months. Jesus. Just thinking Chinese. Oh, I could do a Chinese. Salt and pepper squid. I fucking love salt and pepper squid. Chili squid, like any well-seasoned, dredged, deep-fried squid dish. I'm a happy boy. You know, the fish tacos at the weekend, using some nice calamari rings, panko breadcrumbs, some king prawns, a little bit of red pepper salsa. Had some nachos on the go. Did a little sort of Mexican feast for Halloween for me and Jackie. Oh, it was damn fucking tasty. Soft corn tortillas as well. Nick, take care, brother. Have a good one. He's going to get a Chinese, I'll bet you anything. Crispy chili beef. Is that like the... like Singapore style, where it's all like little strips of beef that have been coated and fried? Because stuff like that I find great until they put a little sauce all over it, and then it becomes like this gummy, horrible thing. Oh, Sphere, that's terrible. Tofu, I can't get behind tofu. I've had tofu a couple of times, and it just doesn't do it for me. I'd rather just have like vegetables than tofu, I think. Let's just hit the top part of the outside of the vent. It's going to help just amp that blue up a little bit more here on the back as well. We'll end up going into the vents and doing those probably in metallics, though we might end up just thinking fuck it and going on with some like nice yellow to orange OSL. Who knows? Deep fried MSG coated in syrup? Yeah, for sure. Mapo wait, tofu with beef? Okay, and nibbling number 5. That, damn, fair play. Fair play. Sounds like a chef that knows their craft. Always good to find that. Too many brews, we're all hungry. I've directed people to VODs of the stream before now, and they wanted to see like one particular thing that we'd done, so sort of sent them to there. It's like, all right, cool, go and watch this stream. It's about halfway through or whatever, and you know that will show you like this method and crack on. I've had a message from them afterwards saying, thanks, yeah, I watched that and I'm really fucking hungry. We talk about food a lot over here. It's a big part of the stream. So, what's takoyaki? Don't know that one. You reminded me of fish my lunch just started 4 hours ago. Damn, man. Damn. Right, nearly done on these highlights now. We're just coming up to the shoulders, and we've got this little Ultramarine insignia to do as well. There's going to be some really picky highlights on that, though. Just want to hit a couple of the corners of this to just pop this out a little from the armour. The joint's a bit fugly on this, and to pack in some green stuff. So we don't want to draw too much attention to it, but the edges are still quite crisp. And we can use those to draw attention away from our green stuffed joint to try and keep that Ultramarine symbol attached to him. I was advised that it was an absolute bastard and would fall off just with a stiff breeze, so I had to get in there. Only talk about good food, but that is true. That is true. Maple tofu is nice and numbing. Szechuan pepper sauce, silk tofu, prawn beef. Ooh. Alright. I can get behind that. That sounds good. I like Szechuan pepper. I used to do a duck dish at a restaurant I worked at, which was duck breast with Szechuan pepper all over the top of it. Pan fried and cooked exactly how you should have duck. Nice and pink on the inside. All that fat rendered down off of a slow pan to start with. Oh, yeah, that was something else. All right, need to get into this highlight around the front here. This one's slightly tricky, but there we go, made it. Last part of the blue now. What time are we at? We are at about 10 to 11, so we've got, call it 30 minutes or so left before we move on to the whip gallery. What can we do in that length of time? We got any small areas of the mini that you can smash through? We can get a little base coats down on stuff, I guess, but that's kind of it. That's not the most exciting thing in the world, but we'll avoid doing the gold. We've done a lot of gold on stream recently. We'll avoid that. We did gold on the Hellstorm stream last night as well with Mikey. Quick tutorial in there because somebody in the chat was asking and was unsure of how to paint the gold. They really liked the gold in the chaplain and wanted to know more, so we busted out a quick gold tutorial. There we go. Alright, that is our blue for Calgar done. And you can see how vibrant that looks now. Now we've got those edge highlights in, especially the fist, those massive, great big lumps of blue at the end of each arm. Super, super nice. Tell you what, why don't we paint some white? White's normally a bit of a fucker to do, but let's just paint some white. Let's just do it. So we're going to start off with some grey. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to use Celestra Grey. I like this paint. It's a good one from GW. It's a base paint, so it's usually got decent coverage. We're going to use this on the feathers. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Shall we do some more airbrushing? I think we should. Who wants to see some more airbrushing? Like some slightly weird danger close airbrushing? And who wants to see some painting white? We'll take guidance from the chat. Just looking for my hobby knife. I can't see it anymore. The cloth. Going to be touching cloth. Fuck's sake. I need my X-Acto knife. I can't fucking see it. Let's go. Is it any... It's there. That's why we used it earlier on for the bloody point and shoot. Okay. Looking like airbrush tutorial is on the cards. So I reckon this cloak would look super sick if the cloak was white on the inside and red on the outside. What about you guys? To me, that sounds like a great idea. So let's do that. I need some red. I need some black, which we've got out. I need the wet palette still for a second. Mohawk just says, "Pat, danger close, hold my whiskey." No one's holding my whiskey. I can hold that and do danger close. Thank you very much. Wait. He says, knocking over a paint. Do 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 do. Pew. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is what you kind of want to be looking towards anytime you need to airbrush something that's right near a load of other stuff, is lay down a quick fire coat of paint by hand. Now, we're still going to grab the airbrush. I'm going to do a load of airbrush work in a second. But what I want to do first is just hit the edges of stuff by hand. What this is going to mean is we're not going to need to go all the way up to that edge with our paintbrush, with our airbrush. So see these areas right in here? We want those to be red, but if I try and airbrush that, all of this area is going to be red, and I'm not going to get it on here and up here. So let's just get in there, nice and quick. We're using an older brush just so we can essentially mistreat the shit out of it a little bit. And we go right up to all those edges. So up here, if we try to airbrush this, this would end up red. Don't want that. No Kimosabe. Thank you for following. Welcome. So let's just get a quick set of red base down on all of this. Skippy Dog Food as well. Thank you for the follow too. Loads of new follows tonight. I reckon we might have just got past Mikey on Hearthstone Wargaming now. We were about 30 away the other day. We might have done it now. Maybe. Maybe. It is close. So, keeping this paint nice and thin. I don't care about brush strokes. Don't care about visible brush strokes. I don't care about having accidentally hit any of the other parts. And I don't care about any of the undercoat showing through at all. I do care about hitting the blue. Yeah, I think I was at 2.338. He was 2.370 or something. So quick fire, base coat down. Took no time at all. What we're going to do now is we're going to even that out. So we're going to grab the hairdryer, dry it down. So we're going to do the same mix as that in our airbrush. We're going to come in and we're going to hit all of those areas with the same mix. Then we can start working up our reds. Once we've done that, we're going to do the same process. Celestra Grey down on all of the white bits. Then we'll come in, snipe in those white highlights with the airbrush. We're going to do the red first, get it out of the way because we want to put white on here right next to it. Just grab the wet palette, put that out of the way. Let's get the airbrush fired up. A bit like I'm fired up right now. I'm excited to do some airbrushing. Jager, peace out, bro. First thing, I'm going to clean the tip. This is some precision work. I need to be making sure there's nothing holding that up. Oh, dude, thank you very much. Super nice of you to say. Really appreciate it, man. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us. So, quick drop of black paint in the airbrush. A couple of drops of red. Just looking for that nice, deep, rich red. It's going to give us some really nice contrast that we can build up on. All the way up to a little bit of an orange. Not a lot, but orange has got a massive contrast with blue, so you know that's going to work quite well. Danny! How you doing, brother? So obviously careful not to hit any of the blue. Not only have we airbrushed that blue, we've done our shading, we've done our line highlights on that blue. We do not want to hit that blue, so we're going to spray this way, away from all of that as much as possible. And this first coat of paint is just going to even out all of that brushwork. Try not to hit the foot there. And its entire purpose now is just to ensure that everything we've just laid down was nice and even. Notice how, coming up here, we don't have to go all the way up to that skull, which means we've got very little chance of hitting this with our red, turning it purple, and so on. I'm doing good, dude. Yeah, I can't really complain. Well, I could, I've got a few reasons to, but I'm not going. Fuck that shit. Just get in there a touch. Now I can go back this way. Make sure we hit all the underground parts of it. Underground? Underside. There we are. Looking tight. Cool. There's our base coat down. Let's flush most of this. Add in some more Kato red. Now we're going to start getting our mid-tone red down into everything that we've got. We're going to add in a fair amount of flow improver. We're going to go quite thin. We're going to get ourselves nicely set up for having a little bit of yellow put into this. Bring it up to a little bit of orange. Airbrush Voodoo. Mate, always the voodoo. Always the voodoo. The gods of metal just reach down and go, I will give you the power. The power of the airbrush. The airbrush? The airbrush. The airbrush that you do? You can see where that joke was going. It never really materialized properly, but I made an effort, and that's what really counts. What do you think of the new Calgar? I think new Calgar's cool. But he's not the old Calgar. And this guy is full beast mode. I love this dude. So, obviously, nice bright highlights. One out to the corner on the bottom here. It's a beautiful place to have that nice solid red. So we start working up there. We're going to work down the back of the cloak, and ideally we want to hit each of these really large creases. We want to leave a little of that previous color in the recess where we can. But if we need to, we can come back in and add that in as a shade manually. You can see we're starting to get a much brighter red to this now already. We're working thin. It's going to take several passes, but it also makes our life easier just in case of a mistake. We accidentally go a little bit too hot and get some of that blue down. always just cover that up with one pass, couple of glazes maybe, of that blue. Nice red starting to build. Grab the hairdryer, dry it down, see where we're at once it's dry. See how many more passes we need to do. Mrs. Fox, is she back? Oh yeah. Not sure where to go with yours now. What, you got the new Calgar or the classic Calgar? I love this mini. This was bought for the mini. Bought for the mini. The mini was bought for the stream by a supporter who flat out asked, "What's the one mini you've always wanted to paint but never been able to?" And this was one of them. This was one of the suggestions. Oh, Christ! Let's get some love in the stream for my favorite of all Canucks. How you doing, brother? Are you back near your desk now? Are you able to get the streams going, or are you came back from some dish buying, grocery buying? Okay. I thought maybe some new crockery then, but perhaps not. But if you're not already following Orquist, please give him a follow. Absolute legend. Super entertaining dude. Always very positive. Usually very positive. Quite often very positive. Is this a new one? Nice, dude. I'll give you a follow. Unsure where to go? Well, work in your shadows a little bit more. Work up your highlights a little bit more. Get all that blue amped up. Like, not just to the point you're at now, which is like a solid base coat and then a little bit of love and a little bit of highlights put in there. But I mean like properly amped up. Look at the work that we've done here. All of this has just been on tonight's stream. It was black undercoat before today. And the blue's just coming to life now. You know, by the time we've got these other colours in, the reds, the whites we're going to do at the front, or with the airbrush in a second, it's going to start jumping out a little bit more. And that's what we're looking for. And grab a little bit of yellow. Going to go with our mainstay yellow, Flash Gitch yellow, not Troll Slayer orange. Shooting again to back a few things on paint, possibly loading, unloading, and moving. Oh, nice, dude. Sounds like a lot going on. Hope it all goes well for you, man. Right, so we've got a little yellow mixed in here. I'd rather do this than switch to an orange, because it helps maintain the blend. So the integrity of the blend still has that core of Kato Red base in it. Alright? We're not switching up to a completely different color with a different set of hues as part of it for its makeup. We're staying with it. We're just modifying it. And I just need to clean my tip quickly. Looks like, mate, I'm trying to... I am trying to, but can't get it right. Okay, dude. Where are you struggling? Like, what specifically are you struggling with? Like, which part of the process? Because we've gone through the entirety of that process this evening, so maybe going back and watching this VOD might help you out a little anyway. But while I'm on air, while I can talk to you, specifically where is that causing you issues? Collins39, thank you for that follow. Welcome to the stream, Chief. Again, let's hit these really nice, quite pronounced creases. And that red's starting to pop now, isn't it? A little hard to see on the camera. Let's just do this. Does that make that easier to see? Just a touch. blends between the highlights and the base. So, the base that you've put down should be your mid-tone. If you're going with like GW style highlights. If you're going for a much more sort of blended set of highlights like I do, then basically take your highlight color, mix in about 50-50 your base coat color, thin it down so it's maybe even as far as a glaze if you need to. Yeah, get those transitions in nice and smooth, and then work that through. And that's the way to do it, man. It takes time. If you're doing the heavy metal style, you could do the same thing. Take your mid-tone, i.e. your base coat, and your first highlight pass, mix them 50-50, do those edge highlights. Using Cantor, Teclis, and one more. I don't know what Teclis looks like. Cantor's a very dark blue. So it might be that you just need like a step in between the two. So if you go Cantor to Teclis, then do a mix. If you're already doing a mix, do a mix with slightly less Teclis. Do like 2-to-1 Cantor to Teclis. The other thing I'd suggest doing first is your shadows. So we did that on this mini because what we want to do is see how dark our recesses are going to be so we can tailor our highlights to it. So might be worth giving that a go as well. Just making sure your recesses there are already at their darkest point, because then your highlight is going to get the maximum reaction it could possibly have already. You know what that level is. Right, just add a little bit more yellow to this, so we've got a nice, bright, very powerful orange, and we're just hitting the bottom parts of this robe. That's it. Robe? I meant cloak. Let's come up very orange on camera. Let's dry that down. Then we'll quickly smash out some white. Let's go for an experiment. I mean, don't we all do? You could use Drakenhof. Drakenhof Blue, I think, is one of the Games Workshop washes that I actually like. There you go. Nice and bright. In real life, this is looking a lot more blue. That's the wrong button, you knobhead. And a lot more red. I'm trying to get the color right on camera. Maybe we need to just up our saturation a little bit. Like I said, we did change a lot of our settings. For me, Drakenhof. Let me just double check that's the one. Yes. Yeah, Drakenhof is one of the only GW washes that I use, because it's a really nice coloured blue and it works really, really well to darken stuff down. We could have used it on this, but instead we went for the slightly softer Army Painter blue tone. Just for no other reason than I felt like using it. That was literally it. Right, just flushing this through. We need to get a quick clean on the airbrush because we're about to put white and grey through this. If there's any tint of the red, we'll get pink. Like, red is an extremely potent pigment. It's very powerful. You need to ensure you're giving your airbrush a quick clean. We don't need to break it down. Just a quick bit of tissue, quick wipe out, flow through with some water, some backflows. You know, the usual, just quick steps to fire through an airbrush. So get right in there, into the airbrush cup, right down into the very well of it. Boom. That's got all the red out. Put a bit more water in. Fire some through. Backflow to get everything moving from the the pipe of the airbrush between the tip of the nozzle and the bottom of the cup. Back up in there, flush through. And then just a touch more clean water at the very end. That's ready to rock. Put that out to one side. Grab our wet palette back in. grab that Celestra Grey. Working quickly now. We want to get to the whip in the next 10 minutes or so. Which means I've got 10, maybe 15 minutes to paint white. Easy, right? White's a piece of piss. Anyone can paint white. The only difficulty with white is taking the time of your layers to ensure that you've got something that isn't streaky. The difficulty I'm going to have is not painting the red white. Motherfucker. I thought I got rid of that. Okay. And not painting the blue white. So we've got to get in and around a lot of these areas now. And again, this is going to go on streaky AF. Also, I'm not worried about this bottom edge. This bottom edge, we're just going to paint Celestra Grey after we've done everything else. It ain't no thing. It's going to be super simple. So let's get right in there, up to the butt. And like I said earlier on, this is going to be super streaky. That's totally fine. You're going to even it out using the airbrush. I thought I just painted the blue there, but fortunately not. Came close. There's a guy. Bring that down on that one side. So that's the first part of our base coat for white. We've got this massive flap of cloak to do over here though. Oh, I just realized we've missed a big bit of red too. I'll grab that in a sec. Right, now here we don't want to paint our red, so we're going to make sure that our brush stays on the inside and only works to the out. If we do it this way, we can't actually have our brush bend around the corner and hit that red and suddenly paint it white. That would be bad. That would be very, very bad. I mean, we'd have to do a lot of glazing of red, which is easy over white because you start off with pink, obviously, but still something that I'd rather avoid if possible. We need to get in just here, just touch what will be that side of the cloak as well. That's not going to need much more than the brushed highlight towards the end, so no issues there for the airbrush. And then let's continue getting our base down for this. Very light pressure on that fist, but I need to use it to brace my hand. Obviously, this looks like shit. Look at how streaky this is. It's horrible. It's nasty. This is not a good part of the paint job. This is a necessary step. If we didn't do this and just went straight to the airbrush, all that work we did earlier on with the blue, it wouldn't be blue anymore. I'm almost guaranteed to get a little white on the blue for this side anyway, but that will be easy to fix. Quick few glazes and it'll be done. So we've got a nice, I say nice using like inverted commas, whatever, quotes. There's our white bit. Actually, before I forget, let's do that quick splash of red. I'll come in just up here around the corner and hit that. There we go. Brush down, wet palette away. Now going to get some Celestra Grey through the gun. Also, guys, exclamation point Frohawk. Go and cast your vote if you haven't already for what chapter intercessor we'll be painting myself and Chris Frozin and wrapping off a charity in our Frohawk challenge. A couple of drops of Celestra in 4 drops of flow improver. We're going crazy thin. Right, this bit, nice and simple. Keep your paint nice and low, but keep your air pressure high. You want a super tight cone of paint. You need to be absolutely getting these passes in at like a fucking laser. That's how accurate you want to be right now. You also don't want any speckling, so just quick test fire off to the side. Can't have any overspray on the blue. It's not the end of the world if it happens, but if we can avoid it, then this is going to be so much better. So much better. Let's make sure we avoid the fist on the overspray. So we're at this side. So we're pointing away from the mini. We can't possibly hit the red going past it. And we're just looking for that smooth coat of Celestra at the moment. We're going to leave some of that Celestra Grey into the shadows. It's a nice way of introducing white. Ooh, went a little bit fierce there. You can't see it on camera, but you can tell we could have ended up with a spider web. Just drying that down now. We'll take that away. Make sure we haven't got any texture on the miniature. And we got lucky. Got lucky. The airbrush a lot. Like 10 to 15 hours a week I spend with the airbrush. And it still happens. We have got, as you can see, a load of white in there on that blue. I'm just going to dip paintbrush in water. See what we can brush away, if any. It's looking like none. Okay, that's fine. That one we're going to need to get some glazes on. That's okay, we know that. This bit, a little harder. So we're pointing away from the red. And the objective is obviously, don't paint the red, only paint the white. And so, don't paint the red, that's simple. You can use things like your finger. You just mask off some of that area. That works real well. There we go, trying to avoid aiming at that leg through that little hole, but we've got a nice smooth set of Celestra Grey paint down. Flush some of that through, leave a little left in there. We're going to start transitioning through to white. So we're going to add in 2 drops of flow improver for every 1 drop of white. So we're going 4 to 2. This is because we don't want any speckling. White is notorious for speckling through an airbrush just because of the way the pigment is constructed. We use Morrow White from P3. Nibbling number 5, a wet palette will last half forever if you treat it right. And mine isn't some like super posh artist grade wet palette. Mine is a Tupperware container and a car body paint sponge. Sorry, car body wash sponge. Also, I use card quite a lot. I use blue tack packets. Yeah, that works really well. Just a little bit of card, just held in place. We've done that a lot on the channel. But always have a go at doing stuff like that without the masks. It gives you better control. It makes you a better, technically better airbrush painter because you're forced to focus on accuracy above all else. It would help for here, but we've already made that that little bit of white on there anyway. So as soon as we got to go back in and correct, it's no issue. We might even get away with doing that on stream next time. And the rest of you look brilliant. There you go. So that's already looking like a nice white. You can see we've got that little darker shadow in there from that Celestra Grey built up to a nice white. It's all quite smooth. We can go higher through the airbrush with our highlights up to pure white if we wanted to. but we're not going to. Does anybody know why in the chat? Has anyone got any ideas on why that might be, that we're not going to go to pure white through the airbrush? Pretty sure I've asked this question not just before but recently, so somebody out there should know the answer. Pure white paints are usually shit. I mean, that's true, but that's not the reason. Doesn't mean it's not true. It's just this time that isn't the reason. Something art. I mean, close. Poly. Again, it's a good reason, but it's not what I'm aiming for. What's the next step from the airbrush work? This is something that my students will definitely be picking up on soon, like airbrush next steps and special effects. What's the next step? What have we done already on stream on this guy? Bam! Poly in there at the end. Nailed it. If you go up to bright white, where are you going to go past that for your highlights? There are ways of highlighting pure white, but it relies heavily on optical illusion. And that's not a position you want to be in. You have to mix white with blue. And I mean like the tiniest fucking amount of blue. Because all that happens then is your brain perceives the difference in hue. Your eyes don't really. And it's just a colder thing which in your brain works. But it's a really shitty thing to have to try and do. Right. So we've managed to give ourselves a little bit of extra work to do down here on the blue. We're just going to glaze out those. Nice and simple. Take some cracked blue, thin it right down, paint it into those recesses. In fact, fuck it. Let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's grab the better brush of the two. Get the crag out. Just a touch. I need a new lid on this paint, I think. That one's gone foobar. Turn that into a glaze. So add a fuckload of water till it becomes basically dirty blue paint water. And then anywhere we've got those speckles, just paint this over. Then we're going to grab the hairdryer quick. Notice we're glazing up towards what was our darkest part of the leg plate. Glazing into the recesses there. That bit needs just actual paint. We're not going to glaze over that, not readily. Just pop down a little paint there, grab some of our glaze. And then using that glaze to almost wet blend it, just work it up that leg plate. Get the hairdryer. Glazes take seconds to dry, so you can normally do this without a hairdryer, but for the sake of finishing the stream at a reasonable time and hour and not keeping you guys waiting too long to go into the whip, we'll grab the hairdryer. So we're back in around the boot. There's darker areas. And then that little cable attachment right down there by his foot, just gonna sneak in and paint all of that blue, because we're gonna paint all that silver at some point anyway. And then done. Happy days. We've covered up our cover-up. We're still retaining our blend on that leg. If we need to, we could take a little bit of Calgar blue, glaze that out, and then go the other way with it. Glaze down towards the bottom there. Keep it real thin. Keep it real glazy. Keep your brush moving in the direction of the brightest, most influenced area by your brush strokes. Then come back in with that glaze of Macragge to just fade it back out on that top edge. Glazing is always a back and forth process. Throw that down. So go into the whip in about a minute, if that. Exclamation point Discord. Head on over. Upload some pics of what you've been working on. Let us see it. Let's work as a community to see what you've done. It's probably about the last pass that we need to do there. There you go, and that's glazed out. That we've got that transition back. We've got our beautiful white and red cape, as befitting Lord Marneus Calgar, chapter master of the Ultramarines. Or at least here he was. He's looking hot. So next stream, which won't be Thursday, remember. Thursday is my other half's birthday, so we're going to go celebrate together. It's going to be a lot of fun, and because of lockdown, we want to spend as much time together as possible. So I'm going to go see her tomorrow. We'll be returning home on Friday, which is why we're scheduling the new Patreon post for the PDF guide of how to paint black. Frozin is coming in just in time for the whip. I see you've come from the Lord Drybrush stream. This is good. Sarantis, how you doing? Flash and Dash, it's me, Skeptic. What up? NW Trout Bum. Mini Wargaming Trout Bum? Could be. Could be. But like I was saying, on Friday, the PDF guide on Patreon will go up for how to paint black like this. The video guide went up last week. Exclamation point Patreon for a little bit more information there. On an upcoming Patreon, I will show you guys how to paint a freehand Raven Wing symbol on this bad boy. On YouTube on Friday, the video of how to get your bases leveled up. Not just the generic GW stuff, but really make your bases come to life a little bit. That video will go up as well. Exclamation point YouTube for that. Mr. Frozin, there he is. How are you, sir? Are you looking forward to the exclamation point Frohawk challenge? Where? Let's have a look at the straw poll. Where currently, by 2 votes, Soul Drinkers have it. I feel there's been a campaign on your stream to get the Soul Drinkers their votes. Oh, I needed that. When the Ultramarines get so high, they've always been that high, mate. They love it. Ignore this little blue tick. That I don't know why that's there. It just randomly appeared. But look at that. 10 votes for the Sons of Ultramar and the 500 Worlds. Calgar absolutely says it should be an Ultramarine. So go and vote in the Frohawk Challenge for which chapter you'd like to see me and Chris, most importantly Chris, really importantly Chris Frozin, who would love to paint an Ultramarine. He'd love to paint that Ultramarine. Oh, he's so fucked now. But it's time. We'll whip it out. See what you guys have been painting. Exclamation point Discord. Go over to the Work in Progress gallery. Upload some pics of your stuff. Fuck you, says Chris. But you love Ultramarines, Chris. You put up an Instagram post in your Discord today that was all about how much you loved Ultramarines. So I'm just trying to make you happy, brother. And this is the response I get. If you were here, I'd slap you with my sweaty airbrush glove. Challenge laid down. Ultramarines it is. But Commissar Bob is painting his Blood Angel successor, Eliminators, and new school chaplain. That new chaplain, I think, is this blob up here. Yes. This blob right here is that chaplain. He might be in the giveaway at some point. Who knows? Commissar Bob, loving the colour scheme as always, mate. Keep it up. Big fan of these. Need to tidy that gold up on that shoulder pad trim though, but I guess you know that already, mate. Right, Santi, here we go. This is Polly Wants a Cracker. I always get confused with you because we've got Ritio Santi in the chat. We've got Santi here. And we've got Polly Wants a Cracker in the chat, which is you here. So there's all this that happens in my brain every time I see this username. But look at this Gazgol. So he's asking for some feedback. Hard to see much from that shot. The photo itself is not helping us out very much. But equally, there's just a side profile. Here we go. Back shot. Hazard stripes. You're speaking my language, bro. Let's get in on those. So you've got some highlights. I like that. But not on any of these pipes. So those pipes could do with the same highlight job that you've given that that panel in his hand. That little OSL you've got going on there, I love that. It's simple. You know, there could be a little bit more of a blend going on to really, really sell that. But so good. So good. There's even a little bit of OSL being splashed on there in that top right corner. As you can see, the fluid looks great. The reflection lines look great. You're looking for feedback. All I'm finding is compliments, bro. Okay, here's some. Here's some. I love what you've done to the base. The base you've clearly spent some time on. You've put some thought and some energy into, and that's fantastic. But why are his shoes covered in a different coloured mud to the base? What's the deal there? That's a disconnect for me. It doesn't flow. Everything else has got the story. The battle damage is there. The OSL is there. It draws you into the universe that the miniature is in. And that tells me he was walking somewhere else and somehow landed where he is now. So there's a little point there. I love that heat scoring effect, mate. You've done a great job there. The purple smoke as well looks super, super good. Mikey and I spoke about it yesterday. The fact you've got different weathering. You've not just gone heat scoring all on this to the other. You know, the smokestacks. It's different. It works. Danny, you're absolutely right. Mud dries lighter, but the mud on the base looks wet. So unless he's been stood like that for an hour or two, unlikely. Also, if that was the case, all of the things that protrude from the mud, like the thing he stood on, for instance, would have mud that's also light and dry, the same colour. I can't see that as an answer to the argument, I'm afraid, pal. I understand what you're saying. I think that mud needs to just be knocked back a bit. The horns, lovely. I love the new school light to dark look. There's so much detail on that armor. I think the sheath on the cable, the teal sheath you've got there, is a lovely color. Contrasts really, really well off of the copper. But in comparison to the armor, looks a little bit flat. So I'd maybe look at a highlight on that. Maybe look at getting a bit more shadow going on for it. It's just a little bit one note right there. And you can see it here as well. Look at the pink cable. You can see the highlights on that. The green one you can't. Now that might just be the white balance in your photo, but I'd just give it a little bit more just to be on the safe side. Great weathering on those smokestacks though, man. Top notch. Right, here we go. Fucking beast mode, OSL, right there in the face. Love it. Absolutely love it. There's just one thing here for me, and I'm not sure if this is going to be the same for anybody else, but you've got the face. Underneath the chin, you've got his big, like, mechanical jaw, and there's that line right at the middle where they join. I think you need to do one of two things or both. I think the recess there needs to just be a little bit darker. Whenever I do OSL, I make sure I shade in all of the recesses because the light probably won't get the same cast into that recess as it will across a plane or up away from the plane. You might also want to do a highlight either side of it. So you've got the darkest shadow and you've got the lightest light right next to each other. Because it doesn't quite look right. Everything you've got on Gazzy's face looks the tits. Absolutely banging. But that line, because it's such a straight line, draws the eye. And it's not quite. So I would probably do that. That might help. Overall, mate, your composition is phenomenal. I love the use of color. That super bright OSL and jawline draws your audience's eyes right into Gazgul himself. The rest of it becomes this beautiful surround. It's a backdrop to that face. And it is spectacular, mate. So a couple of things. I'm being very picky because you've asked for feedback. Give it a go. He's amazing though, mate. I wish you the best of luck in your painting contest. Jason Customs. Sculpting practice on a custom Demon Prince made of spare parts. Going for Nurgle. Okay. I see Demon Prince wings and claw Hellbrute bits. I see some green stuff maggots. That always makes my stomach just churn a little bit. That's nasty. That's nasty. Polly, no problem, bro. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, this is definitely some Nurgle stuff going on here. That's there. Okay, actually that's fucking sick. You got a little plague hive going on there on the back of his shoulder. That's cool. Mate, I'd love to see how you get on with this. Sculpting is not my forte at all. Some of the simple stuff I can do, but things like this I've had no real practice with. So I'd love to see it as you get through it. Please come back, put it back in the whip so we can see that progression. Keep it up. Alright, Saragon. I took the green display platform, sprue for reference, and painted it more different green. Plan on playing around with a bunch of weathering, also hazard stripes. Waiting to see how it turns out for a pick what type of varnish to hit the EVA. Oh! Sweet! It's the Neon Genesis thing. Yeah, epic. I did a Eldar Spirit Seer in these colours for Peckish Fox. He won one of the end of month mini contests. So we painted it just like Eva. That's cool, man. That's really, really cool. Got to get some hazard stripes on that, though. Nice. Little break from Tau. Danny, building the first Fireboys, because who's to finish products when there's more things to build? You do, pal. Get that non-metallic metal we talked about up on there. Heck, showing it back now. We're not friends anymore. You sabotaged the fuck out of me in this painting contest. This is when I try to throw Chris under the bus with the Ultras, you know. These are sick, mate. These are really, really cool minis. I could do a lot with these, I'm sure, but it's the sort of thing I'd want to sit and paint for myself and really, really get into it. Lots of reds, or purples, oranges. You know, really, really amp them up. It's Sammy. Here we go. Primaris Captain. Oh, hot damn. Alright. This is good. I like this. So firstly, it is Primaris Mr. T. And for that, I love it. Chris, I mean, she wants to see you stream for 24 hours. I can't get in the way of young love. You know, who am I to disagree with that? So, Primaris BA is looking great. I love this. The Demon Head, I have a bit of a thing about stuff being placed on a base that don't belong on the base and don't have anything that would tie them to the base. So in the video that's going to go up on YouTube on Friday, I talk about this a little bit. Whenever you introduce something to a miniatures base, you have to find a way of making it look like it belongs there and not has just been placed there. So maybe check that out on Friday when it goes up. Other than that, everything else, I love it. Everything's nice and dark. The cloth nice and dark. This is super good. Great work all over. The family grew a lot for the last week. So there's another pack of Flyboys and more standard boys who are not in the photo. I even have a Mohawk Orc. Yes, you do. Excellent. He's got his hair squig on. Love it, dude. Absolutely love it. But all I see, Hersasera, is grey plastic. Get some paint on, man. You know it. Got a battle wagon. Yes. Nice. Killer cans. Epic, mate. Absolutely epic. Sammy, no problem, man. Mohawk. Yes. Too many sprues. You fumbled that one. There you go. Me too. But Sarah did have that massive sale over the weekend for her first birthday. So I imagine there's a lot of orders on backlog for that. So, but I ordered a load more of the MIG ammo pigments. So, Timmy Spruce says, okay, it's a start. I think this is what Appreciate is. Also attempted something green joint. Right, so it's spraying underneath with brown. I can see you've gone a little fierce here and there, mate. I can see some spider web going on the inside of that leg there, for instance. A little on the outside of the leg there. So just back off on the amount of paint. Keep the amount of air going through. That's fine. You can air at like the fullest amount of air possible. Just be careful backing that trigger up for the paint. Bring yourself arm joint. Right, gotcha. That'll stop that spiderweb issue you've got. Yeah, you can see on the leg there, you're getting a lot of like almost pooling effect with the airbrush. Have we got a top-up view? We have. So here we go. All of the brown bit should be on the underside of this, ready for you to come in from the top and hit that. You were going for reds and blues, weren't you, I think? 140 PSI, do it, Des. Cut that mini right in half. Chris says, tomorrow I have my new hobby room, then can start priming a lot of stuff. Sorry, that's not Chris. That's Arrow. Why did I say that was Chris? Sorry, dude. Skeptic. Oh, yeah. Dwarf work. Sorry for the CF. Oh, no, it's no problem. Nice. All right, let's have a look here. That's a really, really cool blue. Slightly metallic, which I really like. You've got those crisp edges that go super bright, and those dark patches that come right in up to that highlight as well, and that really, really works. Yeah, I like this a lot, Matt. Is this still a whip, or are you done? Because if you're not done, I'd recommend doing a little bit more on the silver, because the blue is super, super electric. Crooked Grin! Absolute superstar. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, good. I thought it might have just been the base was the last thing left to do. Right. Crooked Grin, it's always late for you, dude. It just takes a while for that sub to come in on notification. Don't know why. Yeah, love that blue. Love that blue. Frozen! High contrast light is a little glaring, but started Golden Demon paint job on Necron Lord Apophis with his Veil of Darkness. Nice, dude. Okay, liking the little squares. Does his leg mold into them? Looks like it does. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I like the little scorpion tail things he's got on his shoulders. Big fan of that. Poly, I spray at 45. Constant. You know, that's honestly, that's a really good PSO spray up. Yeah, I like it, dude. Keep it going. Getting those brush blends on those little blocks is gonna be a tough one. One last one. Should there be more brown on the body? I really need to study lighting. Yes, and it needs to be darker as well. So you're going for the red, yeah? Which means that red is a very powerful pigment. You saw from Marneus' cloak today, we just flick back to that this was red and black, and this red just covered it straight up, right? So with your gigantic, in comparison, Riptide, you need to make sure that those darker recesses are really dark. So when you're putting your red over the top of it, there's a big difference between the top panels, which are nice and bright, and those undersides, which are nice and dark. So I would go, instead of what looks like a burnt umber kind of thing that you've got going on here, I'd probably just go straight for, like, what's the GW one? I actually quite like it. No, I can only think of the contrast paint. One sec. Rhinox Hide. That's it. Or, yeah, Rhinox Hide, I think, is the one. Spray that into all those underside parts of it, so you've got a gargantuan contrast between that and the top side. Then come back in with your red and really blend those through. Okay, hopefully that works out for you. Let us know if you get any problems. Also, we can cover pre-shading in your lessons as well, mate. All right, you can definitely look into that. Mornfine Brown, I'm not sure I've used that one. Rhinox I like because there's a little bit of red in it anyway. Like Rhinox is basically a very, very, very dark red. So, you know, it works quite well for stuff like this. But that is the end of the stream. The music has run out as well, so quite well timed. We did a load of work on Mr. Calgar today. Ultramarines live long, go with Calgar. And We did all the cloak. We did all the blue. We've got some shading to do on the cloak. We've got a load of baked metals to put down and so on. This will be what we work on the next stream, which will be Sunday now. Remember, no stream on Thursday. It's my girlfriend's birthday. Baker Street 2458. Thank you for the follow. So I will be off seeing her before the lockdown and so on. Now, though, let's pass on the hobby love we got from the Art of War, Chris Frosin, Peckish Fox, all of you guys that came with the raid. Let's see who else is streaming. Harrison CS, thank you for the follow. Who have we got? We got Slow Fuse, the Captain, Malev, love a bit of Malev, Jack of Clubs, Brush for Hire, we raided him recently. Let's see, we got a couple of people playing D&D. What's Crypto Mirror doing? Don't know, Amazon Walking Dead commercial. Anyone seen the kid version of The Walking Dead? Is it any good? Is it better than The Walking Dead? Because, yeah. Okay, got some tracing going on. I was hoping for painting. I think we're probably going to go to Slow Fuse, unless somebody really wants something else. Speak up now, guys. Got one vote for Cutthroat. Cutthroat Cure is doing some X-Men stuff. Ooh, which X-Men? Can't quite see it from here. Doing a lot of conversion work on it though. This is cool. Is that all the raiders? I think so. Can we get one more? My shit memory. If someone else raided and I forgot, I'm so fucking sorry. But I think that was it. Okay, we had one vote for Cutthroat Cure. That's where we're going. Nobody else has spoken up. And he's doing some Marvel Crisis Protocol, X-Men work. Bit of assembly at the moment. So let's do it. Again, humongous thank you to everyone that raided, to everyone that attended, to all of you subs, and to everyone that followed. Literally couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you very much. Exclamation point Frohawk. Go vote for the Space Marine chapter that me and Chris have got to paint. Ultramarine. Because it's going to be great fun to paint. Exclamation point Patreon as well if you'd like to help out supporting the channel and get some extra content for your troubles. We will see you guys on Sunday at 9. Peace out, people. Have fun.